Hello, this is a Fiat Panda 100 HP and it's called that because the engine produces 99 horsepower or 100 PS. Basically, we'll call it 100 horsepower. Between friends, this car is supposed to make 100 horsepower, but I don't know if it does. But I have a dyno. I am absolutely at a loss as to how much power this thing's probably putting out. And if you want to just know and skip all this looking around the car and talking and all that kind of thing, there are chapters along the bottom. You can just skip. Run 1 is the front, run 2 is from inside, and run 3 will be from the back. So if you want to watch those, crack on and do it. For those unaware, this is a car that I am currently raffling. I bought this car at the beginning, well actually last year, but I didn't pick it up until this year. And I've always wanted one. I love the Panda 100 HP as a concept. I've always wanted to get one. It has delivered. This is a hugely, hugely fun little car. It is not a smooth car. It is not a refined car. It's just a silly car. This is the kind of car, this car is like a little puppy. When you get home, and I don't know, I've never had one, but you get home and there's a little dog there and it's wagging its tail and it's jumping up at you and it wants to play. Or do you know what, right? And this is wholesome content alert. When I became a parent and my kids, I had twins and, well, I still have, they learned to crawl, right? And you get home from work and you get home, you open the door and they'd be crawling up to you, all smiley. That's what this is. Only it doesn't shit itself. Well, hopefully it won't. So yes, I bought this car basically to run it around in January, enjoy it, get it out my system. But the reality is that I was not able to keep this car. I have too many as it is. I have an SM as well. Yeah, I'm going to make this somebody else's car. So at the moment, this is my Panda 100 HP, but it will be at the end of January somebody else's Fiat Panda 100 HP, which they can enter for £1. You could win this car for £1. And I think these are actually appreciating future classics. I think probably about 10 years' time, I'm going to massively regret this. But am I going to regret putting it on the dyno? That's what I'm here to find out. Many Fiat owners seem to think that they were underquoted from new, and that does happen quite a lot. There are a lot of cars, if you go on my website, ihaveansm.com, there are dyno league tables. I have 3 dyno pages on there, production cars, modified cars, and soon to be the Wall of Fame, which is this here, which is slowly getting added to and will be added to today because this car will go on it. The question is, where will it go on it? Well, it's not going to be at the top. And hopefully it won't be at the bottom. Anyway, you go on that website and you'll see plenty on there. There are plenty of small engine cars, economy cars, cheap cars that overproduce. Daihatsu Sirion, Peugeot 106, Skoda Felicia, and some others. I can't remember them, but there's lots on there. So it would not be unheard of for this thing to overproduce. At the same time, it is Italian. And all the Italian cars I've put on here before now, well, if you also look on the dyno pages, you'll see that quite a lot of them are in the negatives because those tables aren't listed by highest power at the top, lowest power at the bottom. They're listed by highest percentage over book figure and greatest percentage under book figure. And there's a lot of Alfa Romeos in the bottom bit. I don't know. I've never done a fire engine before. This is the first time a fire engine car has been on the dyno, the fully integrated robotized engine. Basically, it was the first engine that was put together by robots. Or something like that. I don't know. Maybe. Probably. This is the first time I've had any Panda or any Fiat, Lancia, whatever, with the fire engine on the dyno. I have a feeling it's not going to be the last. In fact, I can tell you for sure it's not going to be the last. This is one of the daddies of the fire engine. This is the 1.4 litre, 1368cc, twin overhead cam 16 valve version of the fire engine. No variable valve timing. No variable valve timing, no turbo, nothing like that. It's just a standard 1.4 twin cam engine. And so here is the fire engine. Hopefully not going to go on fire. You can't really see it because there's this big airbox on the top, although it does have 100 HP written there, which is très cool. In fact, no, I don't know what's very in Italian. Mucho? I don't know. No, it's more like Spanish, isn't it? I don't know. Well, anyway, that's the engine. You can't really see it, but it is a twin cam, 1400cc. Quite a long stroke engine, this. It's a 72mm bore and an 84mm stroke. That is a very, very long stroke engine. People wonder sometimes why I talk about long stroke and short stroke. It's because it changes the characteristics of the engine. That, you know, it is bore times stroke that gives you the cc of the engine, sure. You could have two 1400cc engines, and if one of them is a short stroke and one of them is a long stroke, that is the stroke is a greater distance in measurement than the bore, if you like. So the piston goes up and down a lot. Hey, good name that. But is quite narrow, and then the other engine next to it, the piston only goes up and down a little bit, but it's really wide. Very different characteristics. Even if the engines are completely the same cc, short stroke engine would be more like a motorbike engine. You'd see more motorbikes having short stroke engines. Long stroke engines tends to be cars, but if you get a square engine, that's basically an engine where the bore and the stroke is the same. This one, long stroke. Now, long stroke is strange because long stroke tends to be quite lumbered, slightly rougher, not quite as well balanced, but torquey. Gives you a kind of a gutsy engine. Not necessarily a one that is happy revving that highly, but one that is quite happy to work, as opposed to a short stroke engine, which gives you snappy throttle response and it will rev, but it won't actually have much guts behind it. Well, it's kind of strange that, because this car does like to rev. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not a high revving car. I think the red line, I think the limit will cut in about 7,000 today, but it's not like it gets up to the top of the rev range and it just keeps surging forward like a Honda or something like that, like a VTEC. But it's not reluctant to rev. And the simple reason is that why it's a long stroke engine is because it's based on smaller engine designs. They couldn't make the bore any bigger, so they've had to make the stroke longer. That's it, to make it, you know, increase the cc. That's all they could do. The engine does have quite a lot of flexibility in the middle. I think it's actually its strongest suit, combined with its short gearing, is around about 3,500, 4,500 revs, something like that. You can really zip through the gears in the mid-range and just keep momentum going. And on a smooth road with lots of corners in it, this is a delight. This is an absolute riot. It's really, really, really good fun. It's not so much fun in Gosport, but then nothing is. Right, as with all dyno tests, the bonnet must be closed. This is a completely original car. 106,000 miles on it, even down to the airbox. Nothing out of place on this. Well, the wiper linkage is not standard. If you watch my video where I did the wipers, you'll know why. What do we think? Predictions. I've been online, as I say, and a lot of people reckon these things overproduce, or that Fiat underquoted them. It's one or the other. But I don't know. So lots of weird noises there. I think I've driven a lot of small cars over the years, a lot of hot hatches. I'm cat among the pigeons. I'm going to be pessimistic. I think 97. A healthy 97. I think the graph will be good. I think the graph will be quite strong on the screen there. But yeah, I think 97. I don't know why. It's kind of. Do you know what it reminds me of to drive? With the performance of the engine. Actually, no, I'm talking shit. It doesn't remind me of that. I was going to say the 106 Rally Series 1, but it's not, because that's got less grunt in the mid-range than this has got. But what it does remind me of is the AX GT. An AX GT, lots of punch around, it's a lightweight car, short gearing, lots of punch around sort of 3,000-4,000 revs. Will rev, but isn't really tuned for it. That's kind of how this feels. Yeah, I'm going to go 97. What say you? Put it in the comments for a laugh, because it'll already happen by the time you write it. But if you pause it now, then it's a surprise, isn't it? It is going to go on here. In fact, I have pre-written the piece of paper. So the question is, well, it should go here, really, because there's a gap between a BX that did 92 horsepower that I used to have and my Imp, which did 121, which sounds a lot for an Imp, but it's actually got a Saxo engine in it. So Hilda's there, 121, BX at 92. So really there's a big old hole in the middle there that the Panda should fit quite nicely into. It's not going to go beating the Imp. This is not going to have 120 horsepower. And if it's got less than 92, people are going to want their money back on the raffle. So it's basically going to go here before I've even done it. Yeah, well, that was anticlimactic, wasn't it? Let's run it. Okay, so the result is on the screen. Now the car was not fully, fully warmed up. I've done one before the car is fully warmed. Does that make sense? So it's warm, it's not cold, but it's not right up there because apparently there are two, well it's not on the screen because I haven't clicked the button. Oh my God, I've just seen the result. Yeah, I was wrong. Let's just go in and do it, bollocks. I'll explain the rest of it later. So, we know that this rolling road is a ball buster. We know that this rolling road is brutally honest. There you go. 105.7. The revs, take or leave the revs, they're kind of within about 100 RPM. Pretty solid graph. 98 pound-foot at 4,211. I will consult the book figures, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly right. Yeah, okay, well, that's maybe like a knob, hasn't it? 105.7 is the first one, and the rev limiter cut, well, actually, the rev limiter cut in at 6.5. It doesn't cut until 7 until it's up to 88 degrees, I think it is, which it will be now, after that. But yeah, the peak power is at 6,100 anyway, so unless it changes mapping, I mean, it could well do, but if it changes the mapping when it gets to temperature and the rev limiter is raised, then maybe it will change the power figures completely. But I actually don't think it will. I think it's going to be 105 again, and it will just rev higher, but not actually pull anymore. That's my bet for the second one, which I shall do now. Okay, so yeah, well, it's doing quite well so far. Let's see if we can improve. I left it turned off while I was doing some bits just now, and I had the fan running still, and I've managed to cool it down again because I'm an idiot. People are going to hear this and be like, what on earth is he doing? I'm trying to make the gauge get in the middle. It's nearly there. And plus it's quite fun doing this. It doesn't behave like a long stroke engine. Right, there we go, we're there. So we should now have a rev limiter at 7,000. Let's go for first gear for a laugh. Oh, didn't really need that much throttle to pull away. That's 10 miles an hour. Second gear. That's 13 miles an hour. Fourth gear at 19 miles an hour. Right. Full throttle. Let's let her rip. There she goes. Oh, the tyres are a bit lumpy on this. Gauge is looking pretty good from here. That's wheel power. Well, let's go and see what it did. That'll do, pig. Let's go and see together. It's funny how it's got blacked out windows at the back, because if it was red with red tinted windows, it would it would be like she has improved. Although she's had a dip, but she has improved. 106.1. Bit of a dip there. I wonder what that is. Well, I mean, to be fair, actually, if you look at Fiat's own, is it Fiat's literature, or was it one of the magazines in Italy testing the car? That dips in their power graph. So it's obviously, as there's no variable valve timing here. There's no trickery. I don't think it's got secondaries, active secondaries in the inlet manifold. There's no trickery with this. This is old school. 100 pound-foot at 4.2 and 106.1 horsepower at 6,424. But it doesn't rev to, it revs to 7, but there's absolutely bugger all point doing that because it just dies off. Newsflash, you're going to have to believe me on this one. I had it on the screen there and I've managed to lose it. I did another run with it from the inside, just out of curiosity, because I didn't like that little flat spotty thing it had at the top. It still had that little flat spotty thing on there, so that's just character of the engine. But it did 107, but I haven't got it on the graph. I lost it on there. But it did 107 horsepower, and it was at 6,290 something, so it was lower revs than the last one. Well, it's maybe look a knob, because I said 97 and it's 10 horsepower above that. Just goes to show what I know, doesn't it? I promise you, it did 107. Hasn't this time. Again, 105.7, but it did do 107. It's ironed its kink out a little bit, actually. In fact, that is better than it was on the 107 run. The 107 run just kind of went across there a bit more. I mean, we're talking fine margins. I'm not going to put 107. I'm a fair man. I'll put 106.1 on the board, because that was the highest reading it did. Some people have said to me, surely you should take 3 runs and then do an average across the 3. Yes, that would be the right way to do it. But it's not the way I've done it from day one, so I can't change it. 106.1 for the Fiat Panda 100 HP. So why is it called 100 HP? No, not the make. Not the make, no. No, just the model. So it says Fiat Panda 100 HP. Yeah. That's what Fiat called it, but it isn't. It's 106. Well, it's 106.1 to be precise. But I'm not anal. Like, you don't have to put the 0.1. No, it's not a radically altered. No, I just want to change the model. Because it's called a Fiat Panda 100 HP and it hasn't got 100 HP. It's got 106.1. I don't think I need to get a new hobby. Right, look. I'll tell you what, right, you can take that and stick that... Hello? I pay their wages.